Why do some friendships quietly endure for decades, while others slowly dissolve without a clear ending? If you reflect on your own life, who has truly remained present through change, distance, and time?
Today, we are going to explore friendships from a deeper perspective. Not only how they begin, but how they evolve, transform, and sometimes fade. This conversation will last around 30 minutes, so you can settle in, relax your attention, and simply listen.
There's no need to analyze every sentence. Let the ideas unfold naturally. Allow your listening to expand without pressure.
If you stay with us, you may begin to notice patterns in your own relationships.
Let's begin with something subtle. Friendship rarely starts with intensity. It often begins with proximity and shared circumstance.
A classroom, a workplace, a neighborhood. Familiar environments create repeated exposure, and repeated exposure creates familiarity.
Familiarity, over time, lowers emotional distance, and once emotional distance decreases, connection becomes possible.
Listen closely to this next part. In the early stage of friendship, conversation tends to remain on safe topics: interests, preferences, shared experiences.
Gradually, if trust develops, the tone shifts. Conversations become more reflective, more personal.
Vulnerability enters quietly, and vulnerability changes the depth of connection.
Many learners notice that the word friend feels simple, yet the reality behind it is layered.
Some friendships are situational. They exist because two lives overlap at a specific time.
Others feel foundational. They become part of your identity and history.
Foundational friendships tend to survive transitions, moving cities, changing careers, entering new life stages.
But survival is not automatic. It requires intention.
Intention means choosing to maintain contact even when convenience disappears.
This situation is very common in adulthood. Life accelerates, responsibilities expand.
And friendship competes with limited time.
When time becomes scarce, priorities become visible.
If someone continues to invest attention, even in small ways, the relationship often remains alive.
Let's explore emotional support more carefully. In moments of uncertainty, the presence of a friend can regulate our emotional state.
Not because they solve the problem, but because they share the weight of it.
Shared weight feels lighter.
And feeling understood reduces isolation.
Isolation is not only physical, it can be emotional.
A meaningful friendship creates a space where thoughts can be expressed without fear of judgment.
Trust, again, emerges as central. Trust is cumulative. It builds through consistency.
Consistency in tone, in behavior, in response.
When a friend responds predictably with care, safety increases.
Safety allows honesty.
And honesty deepens authenticity.
Now consider disagreement. Many people assume harmony is the sign of a strong friendship.
Yet real depth often appears when two people disagree respectfully.
Respectful disagreement requires emotional regulation.
And emotional regulation reflects maturity.
Listen carefully to this next reflection. A friend who always agrees may not be fully honest.
Constructive difference can strengthen perspective.
But only if both people remain open.
Openness is a choice.
Just as forgiveness is a choice.
Over time, misunderstandings are inevitable.
Over time, misunderstandings are inevitable.
How those misunderstandings are handled determines long-term stability.
Silence can create distance.
Conversation can restore clarity.
Let's shift slightly and examine the influence of shared growth.
Some friendships thrive because both individuals continue evolving in compatible directions.
Growth does not mean becoming identical. It means respecting each other's transformation.
This is very common in long-term friendships. Each person changes, yet the core connection adapts.
Adaptation requires flexibility.
And flexibility reduces rigidity.
When rigidity increases, friendships can feel restrictive.
When flexibility increases, friendships feel supportive.
Another dimension worth exploring is comparison. In adulthood, comparison becomes more visible.
Career achievements, financial stability, personal milestones.
Comparison can quietly introduce tension, but self-awareness can transform comparison into inspiration.
Many learners notice that emotional vocabulary becomes more nuanced at this level.
Words like loyalty, reciprocity, and alignment describe subtle aspects of friendship.
Loyalty refers to consistency during adversity.
Reciprocity implies balanced effort.
Alignment suggests shared values or compatible priorities.
Without alignment, long-term connection can feel strained.
But alignment does not require identical opinions.
It requires mutual respect for difference.
Now, pause and consider this. Have your closest friendships changed as you changed?
Often, the friendships that endure are those that allow space for reinvention.
Reinvention is natural. Human identity is not fixed.
As identity evolves, relationships must recalibrate.
If recalibration does not occur, distance gradually appears.
Distance is not always dramatic. It can be subtle and progressive.
Yet even subtle shifts matter.
And recognizing them early can preserve connection.
We have explored beginnings, trust, disagreement, growth, and comparison.
And there is still more to understand about the architecture of lasting friendship.
For example, what role does vulnerability truly play over decades?
And how does emotional resilience influence relational stability?
Let's continue exploring these questions together. Let's continue exploring vulnerability, because over long periods of time, vulnerability does not disappear, it evolves.
In the beginning of a friendship, vulnerability may involve sharing small insecurities or personal stories.
Later, it may involve revealing deeper fears, regret, doubt.
Long-term friendship creates a memory bank of shared honesty. Each vulnerable moment adds to that emotional archive.
Listen closely to this next idea. When someone consistently responds to vulnerability with empathy, psychological safety increases.
And psychological safety allows authenticity to remain stable over time.
Without safety, people begin to filter themselves. They present a controlled version of who they are.
That controlled version may protect them temporarily.
But it limits intimacy.
Emotional resilience also plays a central role in lasting friendships.
Resilience refers to the capacity to recover from tension or conflict without permanent damage.
No long relationship is free from friction.
What distinguishes enduring friendships is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to repair it.
Repair requires humility, and humility requires self-awareness.
Self-awareness allows someone to recognize their contribution to a misunderstanding.
This is very common in mature friendships.
Responsibility is shared, not assigned.
When responsibility is shared, resentment decreases.
And when resentment decreases, emotional stability increases.
Let's examine the concept of reciprocity more deeply. Reciprocity is not about counting favors.
It is about balance in emotional investment.
If one person consistently gives attention, support, and time without receiving it in return, imbalance emerges.
Imbalance can slowly create exhaustion.
And exhaustion can transform affection into obligation.
Healthy reciprocity does not require perfect symmetry.
Life circumstances fluctuate.
Sometimes one friend will need more support. At other times, roles reverse.
What matters is long-term equilibrium.
Now consider how friendship interacts with identity. Over decades, identity changes in subtle and significant ways.
Career shifts, relationship transitions, personal beliefs evolving.
If friendship is rigid, it may resist those changes.
If friendship is adaptive, it integrates them.
Adaptive friendships demonstrate cognitive flexibility. They allow new narratives to coexist with old memories.
Many learners notice that advanced vocabulary often describes emotional nuance rather than concrete action.
Words like alignment, resilience, and authenticity capture internal processes.
These processes influence the external behavior of friendship.
Let's reflect on distance again, but from a psychological angle. Physical distance does not necessarily weaken connection.
Emotional distance, however, can.
Emotional distance may arise when communication becomes superficial.
Or when assumptions replace dialogue.
Regular, intentional communication counteracts emotional drift.
Intentional communication does not require constant frequency. It requires meaningful presence.
A thoughtful conversation once a month can sustain connection more effectively than daily, shallow exchanges.
Listen carefully to this reflection. Depth often matters more than duration.
Now let's explore gratitude as a stabilizing force. Expressed appreciation reinforces relational value.
When gratitude is articulated clearly, it strengthens emotional bonds.
Silence can imply assumption. Expression creates affirmation.
Affirmation reminds both individuals that the relationship remains intentional.
Over time, friendships accumulate history. Shared history generates a sense of continuity.
Continuity provides psychological grounding. It reminds us of who we were and who we are becoming.
And being witnessed consistently is a powerful human need.
As we approach the end of this conversation, notice how friendship contains both stability and transformation.
It stabilizes through trust, reciprocity, and shared values.
It transforms through adaptation, forgiveness, and renewed understanding.
If you reflect on your own relationships, you may recognize some of these patterns.
And as you continue listening to English regularly, you may also recognize patterns in your comprehension.
Improvement, like friendship, is cumulative. It builds gradually through consistent exposure.
You do not need intense study sessions to grow. You need steady contact with the language.
A calm conversation each day can strengthen your listening ability over time.
Consistency creates fluency, just as consistency creates strong relationships.
If this episode helped you reflect while improving your listening, continue building the habit.
Return tomorrow for another conversation. Small daily effort leads to meaningful progress.
And if you would like more thoughtful discussions like this, you can subscribe and stay connected with us.
Keep listening, keep growing.
We will continue exploring ideas together.
And we look forward to the next conversation.